Media in Kazakhstan. The media of Kazakhstan refers to mass media outlets based in the Republic of Kazakhstan. Media of Kazakhstan are a set of public information transfer agencies in the Republic of Kazakhstan. The Constitution of Kazakhstan guarantees freedom of press, but privately owned and opposition media have been subject of censorship. In 2004, the International Federation of Journalists identified a growing pattern of intimidation of the media, and in 2012 several opposition media outlets were ordered to be shut down on charges of promoting extremism. All media must register with the Ministry of Culture, Information and Sports, with the exception of websites, newspapers. A wide range of publications, mostly supportive of the government, are available. The authorities operates national language newspapers and the only regular national Russian language newspaper. There were 990 privately owned newspapers and 418 privately owned magazines. Those supportive of the opposition face harassment and lawsuits. Online news websites include Nur-Sultan News, Akin, Lita, Capital, Tangri News, Young Lash, Busines, KZ, Kazakhstan Trust. Intimidation and government-ordered closures. Respublika is possibly the main opposition publication. Increasingly, owners of printing presses refuse to print the publication. After a failed attempt by a government representative to buy a controlling stake in Respublika in November 2001, a mid-March 2002 court order to stop printing for 3 months was evaded by printing under other titles such as Not the Respublika. On another occasion, a decapitated dog was hung from Respublika building with a screwdriver sticking into its side and a note reading, "There will be no next time." The dog's head was left outside Irina Petrushova's home. 3 days later, the newspaper's offices were firebombed and burned to the ground. In July, Petrushova was given an 18-month jail sentence on tax charges, but served no time after a judge ruled that the case fell under an amnesty. In May 2005, the Kazakh Information Ministry ordered the paper to be closed, accusing it of inciting ethnic hatred by publishing an interview with a Russian politician who made derogatory remarks about ethnic Kazakhstanis. The paper's deputy editor Galina Dierdina claimed the closure was politically motivated and vowed to appeal. The paper continued to be published under a variety of titles. In November 2012, before the anniversary of the Mangistau riots, Kazakh authorities raided and searched Respublika's office and again suspended its publication while a verdict on criminal charges was still pending. Respublika was again ordered closed, along with 7 sister titles and 23 news websites, plus another opposition newspaper and a satellite TV station for propagating extremism, inciting unrest and urging the overthrow of the government. Reporters Without Borders described this as a pretext and said it would be the end of pluralism in Kazakhstan. A magazine and 2 other newspapers. Other media experienced difficulties during the November 2012 case against media sources in Kazakhstan. Altan Tamir, Tortenchi Bilik and Dat. International reaction to assaults on journalists. In 2012, the International Press Institute called for the government to investigate an assault on Ulubek Baytalak, a contributor to opposition media. Dat and Tortenchi Bilik, and archivist of the Kazakh National Archive. The Committee to Protect Journalists called for investigations into the assault of both Maxim Kartashov and Baytalak. Television. Kazakhstan is the state television channel of Kazakhstan. Other country-wide television stations are Kabar and Yelana. There are 116 private channels, including Channel 31, KTK and Pervi Kanal Evratsiya, KTK, NTK TV. Kazakhstan.TV, satellite TV in Kazakhstan NTV+, digital TV, Orbiter Telecom, digital cable TV JSC Alma TV, JSC Icon, JSC Digital TV, IPTV Idnet, radio. The state-owned Kazakh radio broadcasts in official and Russian languages. A wide number of private radio stations are also available, including Europa Plus, Russian Radio, Hit FM, Radio Aztec and Radio Karavan. Media websites. The country had 5.4 million internet users in 2011, up from 2010. Twitter, Facebook and YouTube audience share is less than 0.4%, according to BBC in 2012. The censorship of online publications has become routine and arbitrary. In 2003, the state telecom firm Kazakh Telecom was ordered to block access to a dozen websites it said were extremist. The pages either supported the opposition or provided neutral news coverage. In July 2009, the government passed amendments to laws on the Internet which some critics claimed unduly restrictive. The law made Internet content subject to existing laws on expression, such as criminal libel. It also widened the scope of banned media content to cover political matters, such as coverage of the election campaign. A broadcasting bill implemented in December 2011 was aimed at improving the content of the national media, and to protect it from external influence. According to the government, the bill would eliminate low-quality content that inflicts psychological or emotional damage on viewers. Quote, the country had 5.4 million internet users and 362,000 Facebook users as of December 31, 2011. Lawsuits with governmental plaintiffs and defendants from media. In November 2012, Google, Facebook, Twitter, and LiveJournal were cited in a lawsuit filed by Kazakh prosecutors seeking to shut down opposition media outlets. The prosecutors demanded the websites stop publishing material from Kazakh opposition sources. The following month, a court in Almaty ruled that a number of opposition media outlets, such as the television channels Stan TV and K+, and newspapers VZGLYAD and Respublika, had to close due to their extremist views. These were the same outlets who reported on the Manchester riots in 2011. Punishment for defaming a news agency. Increasingly, censorship is imposed by means of civil legal action, such as defamation suits. On 13 June 2005, a court in Almaty ordered former Information Minister Altanbek Sarsanbev to pay 1 million tenge in damages for defaming Kabar news agency. Sarsanbev was also ordered to publicly retract comments he made in an interview with the opposition newspaper Respublika. He had alleged that Kabar was part of a monopolistic media holding controlled by Dariga Nazarbayev. The case is believed to be in response to his resignation after the 2004 elections. At the time he stated, "The election was not fair, honest, or transparent. The authorities showed that from the beginning they didn't want honest elections." Media-related legal code. Media watchdog groups such as Article 19 have voiced the concern over the government's moves in the past few years to silence the opposition. Recent changes in media-related laws in Kazakhstan appear to target non-governmental media outlets. Criticism of government employees can lead to lawsuits, and news laws against extremism have been used to shut down opposition media sources. According to opposition source Adil Sari, the Kazakh legal code is stringent on defamation, allowing even for cases where the defamation is true. One can seek compensation for true statements damaging his/her reputation. For example, a government official who is accused of abuse of state funds can claim compensation even if the statement damaging his/her reputation is true. This also means that an internet service provider could attract liability by unwittingly providing access to insulting or defamatory information published through the internet.